Hello, Jim here, and today we are looking at, well, it's the city that I've been working on here on stream for quite a while at twitch.tv/CazJim, and it's actually got a lot of neat features to it. I've been working really hard on creating a nice, robust city, creating a space that looks realistic and breathable, and it takes good traffic practices into mind, and also just making it feel like the city of my dreams. There's still a lot of tweaking that we have to do. This is something that I've been working on for a while at over on Twitch, and I think that it's just a marvelous thing. And I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit of work on it here on YouTube, because again, it's really not done. It's definitely got more work done than not done to it, but I kind of wanted to get a little bit of work done here on YouTube for it, because there have been some people that have asked, hey, why don't you put some of this on YouTube? So you know what? This is what I'm going to do. So first of all, I'll show you a couple of the things that are nearby. Got a couple of abandoned buildings because we're suffering a minor death wave right now. But generally speaking, this is the shopping center that we worked on a couple of streams ago. And this was a very, very wonderful project. We worked on this big shopping center with the surrounding apartment complex. Got this big old car dealership row in. And we did a lot of detailing. We came in, we did this beautiful shopping area sign. We came around here, worked a little bit with, if I can scroll on down here, we did a lot of these curbs. We did a really nice job of just trying to make this area feel real and livable. We even gave it a couple of features like that central plaza. We gave it this walkable plaza, which is really nice because you actually see the pedestrians starting to use it, which is quite cool. And I'm making use of the modern city center buildings. It's just really, really awesome stuff going on here. And over here on the right, we've got lots of car dealerships, lots of car lots, a couple of big distro center buildings from the workshop, and that's all lined to the side of this giant rainbow road that we made as a statement that we are friends and allies. So what we did in today's stream, I'm recording this after stream, is let's go ahead and just bump this back, just so we can kind of see what we're working on here. There we go. So over here, we started working on a little bit of, well, just a bit more residential development. You can see we've got some lower quality housing going on over here, especially compared to stuff over there. And then we've got some New England style townhomes. These are lovely little assets, and I'm taking good advantage of these and trying to make it feel real over here. And then just past that, we've got a hospital. We've got another neighborhood growing over here. And today, I want to kind of fill in some gaps. So let's go ahead and do it. And one of the first gaps I want to do is I want to actually kind of finish filling in this area on over to here. I want to make this area feel a little bit more complete. So first thing I'm going to do is I've been trying to get a little bit more into detailing and just kind of making my cities more beautiful in general. And one way that I have been doing that is I've been taking advantage of my roundabouts, because whenever you see roundabouts, they are a big empty space that you can plop a lot of good stuff in. And one thing that I like to do is I will frequently just use these great statues. These are by someone on the workshop, Elias on the workshop. He has a lot of these that you can go ahead and take advantage of. You can just plop these right in, and they really do look magnificent just as they are, especially if you can get one that fits exactly correct. However, I would like to go ahead and just kind of do it myself. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a statue. Just some sort of statue. Unsure exactly what kind we want here. And we've got a handful that I've been using in this city. And one that I want to use in particular, actually, is just this rider statue. Now, this rider statue by itself doesn't do much, but I really want this to kind of flank this roundabout. So what I'm going to do is turn on prop and tree anarchy. And we are actually going to place it not in the roundabout, but more just facing the roundabout. So these guys are going to face in towards the roundabout. Like this. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and place one of these on each end. Click twice with the right click and move it, just to sit there and do a quick little rotation. There we go. And then we'll do the same right over here. Okay, we'll go ahead and slide that over. Must move my mouse a little bit. That can happen sometimes, but it's not the end of the world. There we go. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. And as I mentioned, you can also do that rotation trick whenever you have movement selected. Now, the next thing I want to do is ooh, we've got some leveling up happening in this park. Nice. We literally just laid down that park towards the end of stream today. That's really cool. That thing's leveling up nice and quick. So, next thing we want to do is we need to decide what this is going to be. And immediately, I'm actually thinking we'll go ahead and pave it over. And a great mod for creating a paved look is if you can get the Surface Painter. It's a great little tool, and you can actually use it just like any other brush. You can go ahead and just select a size and go for it. So check it out. You can go ahead and zip it around. There we go. Alright, and already it's not exactly interesting, but it is different and it's not standard, because now we've got something else to look at rather than just the grass around it, and it'll help separate it a little bit. So now, we've got that going, and we need to decide what else we're going to have. Now, another thing I have used a little bit in this city are curbs. So let's go ahead and get us a curb network. And this curb network is great because I can sit here and I can make a curb system that goes around any feature I want. If I go ahead and use Anarchy, there we go. We can go ahead and just make this carry on around. Then we can make it form a perfect circle within the existing circle. And you'll see what I mean. It's super cool. There we go. And now we can go ahead and use Move It to select that. Now that's going to be a little bit of a problem. And if you find yourself with a nasty node like that doesn't want to be seen, you can use the picker, or you can do what I do and just select the Marquee selector and just drag down, and then that'll allow you to find these nodes, because obviously we'll run to the center of that node before we run to the center of that node. And that'll allow us to go ahead and grab that and pull it up to surface. Check it out. Now I've got a nice circular curb system that's encompassing this area, and you can tell it's not quite lined up. That's fine, we can go ahead and line it up nice and perfect. So we've got that together. Good, good. Now I can do the same right here. And if you're running into a situation like this, whenever you're using Move It, keep in mind you can use Alt to sit there and do micro movements. And that is a great tool whenever you're using the arrow key. Or you just use the mouse like I did on the last one. It's really just up to you. It depends what kind of area you're working on and what the tools available to you are. Because sometimes using the arrow keys just isn't precise enough. And other times it's more than precise enough. It really just depends. And then right here I can tell it's kind of sinking into the ground. So we're going to use page up, again with Alt, because we don't need it to move too much at once, to just kind of raise that up. And that's looking pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Now let's go ahead and pull up here. And let's go ahead and pull that forward. There we go. And that's looking pretty okay, if I do say so myself. Now, we do have this guy that we need to grab. So we'll go ahead and grab both, deselect that by using shift-click, and then we'll pull that out just to have it edge out a little bit. There we go. And now this curve very convincingly surrounds that central area. And let's go ahead and grab this, because that definitely needs to be moved down. There we go, because we don't want it to be a floating curve. We want it to be a level curve. We'll grab this guy. Pull that on down like so. Oh, up a little bit. There we go. And that's all looking quite good. So now that we've got this level roundabout, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a couple of features within it. We're going to use these round curves, because again, these curves are wonderful. The flat curves I'm getting are by Like Mike, and then the network is by King Leno. Absolutely marvelous tools. So now if I go ahead and if I place this right about here, I can go ahead and just plop that in and maybe put some trees, or I can go ahead and convert it into a procedural object, and then I can place it down. Oh, that's not quite going to work, it looks like, so never mind. Some objects can't really be made into a procedural object, it turns out. Even though it claims it can, and you'll notice because it'll just disappear. But there are other ways around it, so let's go ahead and grab what we want here, and pull that aside. There we go. And I'm mainly going to use this to try and work out where the exact center is. Looks like I've figured out the exact center. So now what I want to do is, I want to go ahead and grab a circle of these. So go ahead and I'm going to select the circle tool in prop and tree anarchy. Or sorry, prop line tools. And then we're going to go ahead and start at the very center of that. And we are going to kind of radiate out from the center. And again, that was approximate. It wasn't exact. So what we need to do is move over ever so slightly. It looks like we'll be about ready to go this time. Yeah, it looks like we're good to go. So let's go ahead and plop this in. There we go. Alright, that's definitely not bad. But now we need to go ahead and select these. So let's go ahead and use the picker tool. Oh, nope. Let's go ahead and select what we're going to grab with the picker tool. Grab this. And then we're going to go ahead and pull all of this across. And we're going to try and center this as much as possible. There we go. Looks pretty good. Now just check the edges and see how it looks. And honestly, it looks pretty okay. I want to go ahead and pull it down here a little bit. There you go, because we're trying to just create an interesting shape. So we've got that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll probably grab some bushes or trees. Bushes or small trees, and we're going to place them pretty much in the center here. So let's go ahead and grab... Little bush is going to be too small, I can tell you that, because I want to fill that area a little bit more. If we grab leafy full, which is a small tree, that's going to be too big. But if I just grab this leafy thing, there we go, that could be perfect. So go ahead and just, we're going to twist these all around. And we're going to just put one on each and every one. And this is stuff that I've learned to do only recently. I'm not an expert detailer by any means, but I want to kind of give it a little bit of insight because a lot of people have mentioned that they just don't know how to start with detailing. And the goal of this video is really just to kind of go through a few mental explainers of why I'm detailing this roundabout the way I am. Because a lot of times you sit there and you see these masterful detailers just go through at blistering pace and they just do some amazing things. And you're always just kind of left wondering, why did they do that? Or what brought them to this decision? And I'm hoping that some people can kind of see the inside of my thought process as I go through this. And we're kind of nearing the end there. We've got a few left. And don't worry, we're not just doing the roundabout bit. We're also going to work a little bit with the lanes on the inside. And we're going to be working with some decals and all that. Because I've actually started falling in love with the idea of doing lane decals. Because you'll actually notice, if you look around, there are no lane arrows anywhere. It's not because I've gone through and hidden them. It's because I actually haven't been enjoying them as a whole. I've actually been wanting to start doing them very much more custom. And plus it's just eye clutter a lot of the times. Because like places like this, you'll just default see them facing that way. It's like, well, obviously you're going to go this way, so I don't know. Just feels better to me to not have them and then put them in places where I need them. And that's going to be a slow but steady process. Alright, so let's go ahead and get... We need something that is a bit larger for the middle. Whenever I have a larger space to fill, I like using the yew tree. I feel like the yew tree is a beautiful tree, if not a little bit underutilized by a lot of people. But it accomplishes so much for how simple it is. And there we go. We're already making good progress here. Now, the next thing I want to do is, if I grab the pathways, and let's go ahead and grab the dirt pathway. And let's go ahead and use this, not as a pathway, but as a decorating tool. This is something that I have started using lately as kind of a little cheat, really. So here and do this. And you'll see what I'm doing here in a moment. There we go. Alright, so now let's go ahead and turn off that picker, and then we'll go ahead and make sure that everything else is able to be grabbed. There we go. Alright. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to see exactly where these nodes are, and to do that, we're going to go ahead and remove a little bit of this surface brush. Now you're saying, Kaz, you literally just placed that. What are you doing? You'll see. You will see. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this in to about here, and then we'll keep pulling it in from each side. There we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and do this. Pull you up. And then we're going to take you and we're going to pull you on down. Just like so. Nice. So that's creating a nice, pretty perfect circle around that tree. And now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and we're going to reduce the brush size, and we are going to get rid of Move It and use the Surface Painter to get rid of some of this. And we're going to try and bring it out so that it looks like the concrete is kind of filling the gap between the two curved pieces. And that should be relatively easy. I got pretty lucky with how I placed the first one, so, or at least the first removal of one to look at the dirt path. There we go. And I think that's going to look really, really nice as a result. Because it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of work, but it looks like we've gotten there. No problemo. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Now, the next bit is, what are we going to do for a little bit of extra decoration? Now, at this point, a lot of people would say, oh, just slap some trees. And that is a solution. However, I think the better solution would be to use color. Not just trees, but color. So if you go ahead and look through my trees, you can see I've got a lot of fairly colorful trees, but it's all about finding the right one. And in this case, I want this one. We're going to go ahead and center it right on the trunk of that yew tree. Right like so. And then we're going to go ahead and, if you have prop line tools, you can go ahead and yeah, you can go ahead and see where this goes. If you go ahead and grab your options, and you go to your spacing, and let's go ahead and let's raise the spacing up a bit, actually. Space it out a little bit. There we go. So it looks like 5 is pretty good, but we want to reduce it a little bit more. There we go. So that seems to be a good amount of trees, because it adds a little bit of color, and it doesn't detract too much from the yew tree. Now let's go ahead and find our next tree, and actually what I want is just to create a little bit of ground coverage. Just around the exterior. Now, ground coverage is something that I think I'm finding to be more and more underutilized. And to place good ground coverage, I'm going to go ahead and turn Anarchy on for prop line tools. And I think that's going to help us. So let's go ahead and just kind of pull those around a little bit. There we go. And just like that, we've created a beautiful little roundabout centerpiece with 4 horsemen looking towards the center. Now, what we want to do is kind of emphasize the boundaries of the roundabout a little bit. And to do that, I'm actually going to grab some barriers. So let's go ahead and see what barriers I've got enabled right now. And we've got several barriers that are available. None that are perfect, unfortunately. Actually, you know what could be good? Let's see if we could use this. If I can make this work. That might be the ticket. So we're going to go ahead and draw a few of these out. And you'll see where I'm going with this. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and pull this forward. There we are. And then we'll go ahead and pull this to about right here. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and we're just going to line these up to each corner. Then after we line up the corners, we're going to line up the straights. Or not the straights, the segments. Why did I say the straights? Man, that happens sometimes. You sit there and say one thing and you mean something else entirely. So let's go ahead and pull this on over here. And then we're going to go ahead and... So, again, the idea here is that we're trying to frame the roundabout a little bit. We're trying to kind of support it a little bit, show that it has a little bit of a boundary, and using fences and barriers and similar objects is a really simple way to do that. And the way that I'm going to be utilizing this one in particular is I'm actually going to be trying to place a couple of greeneries in here. So just some tall, thin trees is what I'm thinking, or some hedges, something like that. And I'm actually thinking I know just the right tree for the job. So if I go over here and I try to grab... would the paplin tree look well? Or look fine here? I think it would look alright. Yeah, that would certainly look good. So before we get that, let's go ahead and make sure that you guys are up. There we go. And then you guys are also up. Just make sure everyone's on the right page here. One over here, that's good. Over there, that's not quite good. Let's go ahead and fix that. It's a little less than stellar with that placement. There we go. Much better. Alright, so now let's go ahead and grab this. And we still got prop and tree anarchy on, which is ideal for this situation. Let's go ahead and... oh, that's not quite right. Go ahead and line it like that. There we go. So now it looks like the city has sat there and planted some trees to disguise a barrier that is there to give a nice firm structure to the roundabout. And I think that really excites me. So let's go ahead and... it's like really close. So let's go ahead and... where are we pulling it from? There. So let's go ahead and pull it from right about here instead. And almost. Third time's the charm, folks. There we go. Sometimes it takes a couple trial and error bits, but you know what? That's perfect and beautiful. Just the way I like it. And now we'll go ahead and pull that in to right about here. Nope, not quite. Just a little bit less, and we should be good to go. There we are. Now let's go ahead and grab this barrier, because that barrier is on the floaty side of things. There we are. That's looking pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. And wow, that is a great improvement. So already, in the past 20 minutes, we have taken this fairly just vanilla, bland-looking roundabout and turned it into a lush, beautiful roundabout that anyone would be happy to drive on. Let's actually take a little tour of it, shall we? So check that out. That is a huge difference for your citizens. As they're driving places, as they're looking to get home, this is going to be a landmark that they look towards every time they go home. And that's going to feel like a focal point to the neighborhood. Because, again, it's a big area that might as well turn into a little bit of a focal point. And you compare that, the reason why I've left this blank on purpose right now, is that we can have the comparison of if you approach an empty roundabout, like this one is. And it looks like this car might be doing that. Yeah, that car should be doing that. So compare that to this. Look how just odd that feels. It's just vanilla, you've got all those trees, it's a little bit, I don't know, you just don't have as much going on. So again, Roundabout, a simple, short project that anyone can do in 20 minutes or less, and honestly, it really helps elevate your city. It really does. Anyways, so that's just a quick little decorating a roundabout bit from KazGem, and if you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and tune in for more content. And of course, you can catch me Monday through Friday over at twitch.tv/KazGem for more City Skylines content. And I hope I can see you soon. And until next time, this is KazGem signing out. See ya!